Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. Well, I'm breaking my own rule already and doing a special video instead of my regular Tuesday and Thursday videos that I'm planning for this year. Just to honor the fact that I had finally reached 100 viewers, so thank you all. Thank you those who have been through the whole thing with me from the beginning, and all the new ones who are taking a chance on me. And I guess I just wanted to have a discussion. I last year I had read a lot of books that, whether it was Nothing to Envy about North Korea, or Tunnel 29 about East Berlin, or a lot of the other Soviet novels that were talking about the control and the fear of being so closely watched all the time, like in I Must Betray You, which was in Romania during the Soviet time, and Hard by a Great Forest, which actually was very close to being one of my top 10 books, and if I had not included two nonfiction, it definitely would have been, along with Ruth by Elizabeth Glaskell. Side point. But Hard by a Dark Forest is about the Republic of Georgia during or right after the collapse of the Soviet Union, and how dangerous it was. Father and his two children fled during a lot of the atrocities that were going on pre-breakdown, and went to England. And they kept trying to get their mom back, and they weren't able to get her. So as soon as the collapse came and the borders and stuff were open, the father went in search of the wife, and he disappeared. So the older brother went, and then he disappeared. So then the younger brother had to go and try to bring all his family home, and you kind of get to have him see what now became of his home country that he had loved, and the family that he had to separate with, and who are missing. So I found that book fascinating, and I do recommend it. But that being said, along with also reading Assad, or We Burn Our Country, which is about the Syrian overtaking the civil war, and the trying to get rid of the Assad family, who had ruled for decades as a dictatorship. It just, all of them have these same beats as dictators of control. And one of the first things they do is control your outer influences. So whether it's your ability to contact the outside world through TV or radio, but also what you read. And so there's always, every time a new dictatorship comes in, they do a lot of book burnings. The Nazis did that in Germany, and the United States always has their huge book bans going on. And it always makes me think with how we want to control our knowledge and our ability to consume thoughts, and or consume media that gives us our own thoughts and allows us to think differently, rather than towing the company line and just staying with the status quo. So you have books also like 1984, which is High Surveillance, but the one that always comes to mind in those times, especially reading those other books that I had mentioned, was Fahrenheit 451, and book burning, and how people risked their lives to try to still hide or read or have public greetings or meetings to debate what they read, trying to keep art alive, and the importance of art and creativeness and storytelling in all cultures, and how we went from a culture that would basically do their storytelling all verbally, to us finally writing down so that those old ancient stories cannot be lost. And then for Fahrenheit 451, they're going back to having to be verbal because it's so dangerous to carry a printed book. So they each person in this revolution would memorize a book so that they could carry it forward, so that it would never be forgotten. And so all that to say, what I wanted to discuss today is what 5 books would you want to be able to be the carrier of? I'm not saying you have to memorize them, because memorizing one book was already a hard enough thought, but just the idea that if it weren't for you, these 5 books would no longer be in existence. So what ones do you think are most important to carry forward? So they can be favorites, they can be things that are teaching a universal lesson that we know that we want to bring forward. It can be whatever you want and whatever you think is important. My goal here is to see not only what we as individuals think is important, but just to have a discussion of why it is important to preserve art in any form. And that being said, I have picked mine. And so some of them are favorites, and then some of them are just ones that I feel like if I didn't bring it forward, they're not popular enough that I don't think anyone else would, and I think they should still be around. So the first one is a favorite, Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. There's just so much in this book that could merit so many different discussions. Bringing it forward, having it still be in existence, we could talk about so much, but it also educates people about how greed and power and lust and all this stuff, yes, you might get what you want in the short run, but you'll always, according to the book, you'll get what's coming to you, even if it's just Dantes being the one that gives it to you. But it also shows how, yes, his hatred and his need for revenge is what fueled him through all his years of imprisonment and isolation. But it's also what destroyed him also at the end, and his chance at happiness, because he just couldn't let go of this need for revenge. And I feel like there's so much in there that could be discussed and talked about, and I would love to make sure that that stays on. Same with East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Both of these are very well written. They're very accessible. They're also very long, but this one has such great character depth and descriptions, and you get to see generational, not so much trauma, but how it's all cyclical, and you continue to pay for the sins of your father, or if it's not fixed or discussed or talked about, you just keep making the same mistakes. History keeps repeating itself. And you get great complex characters, great villain in Kathy, the wife, the mom, and just great family dynamics to understand that, not every family is, no family is perfect, but there's just a lot to just dig into and discuss, and to some great quotes in there to remember, to want to keep with you, keep close. And then I couldn't not include a Shakespeare play, because if we're going to try to preserve art, I feel like we should do it in all mediums, which also includes visual art and being able to put on a play and watch it. And so I picked one that I feel like is never discussed here. Even for Shakespeare, for Shakespeare. I didn't really see a whole lot of people discussing Measure for Measure. That is one of my favorite comedies, and I don't even think it's a comedy. It's only a comedy because like people don't die at the end. But it also kind of encompasses my love for the Victorian trope of the fallen woman. So instead of trying to figure out which classic I wanted to try to keep, this kind of encompasses all that. So you get a woman who, a person of power, like lusts after her, wants to use her, and she is, she is powerless essentially, but for her mind, her strength, and her resistance, is able to basically overcome and get back at the guy who tried taking everything from her. And so I just feel like it is Shakespeare, it is a comedy, so there's entertaining enough parts so that we can still just enjoy art, but it also encompasses so many of the themes that I enjoy that I don't want to be lost. Another one is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, because I feel like if we're taking everything forward, we can't forget our children. And although I read this as an adult and absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it, I loved it, I know that I would have appreciated it even more as a child, and just growing up with the Little Women, and how it still has. It was written for children in a time where, all the stories still had morals. So there's still ways that you can talk to your children and teach your children, and different life lessons that you maintain. And you also get to learn about loss, death, disappointment, and just so many also family dynamics that are so much different than the dynamics mentioned in East of Eden, that you can see two different types of families, one dysfunctional and one far more functional, because at the heart of everything for them is love, in this close-knit family that they have. And then the last book that I chose that I would like to make sure does not go unforgotten is Garden of Evening Mist by Tan Thuong Eng. And this is a Malaysian, it's set place in Malaysia, or it takes place in Malaysia, and it's set during and right after World War One. So it deals a lot with imperialism and the after effects of war, and especially war, what the Japanese did to the Chinese and the Malays people, and how this one woman was a prosecutor trying to get them or worked with a prosecutor to get the people to have to pay for their war crimes. But then she holds this hatred for the people who took her. She was taken, her and her sister, they were made into comfort girls for soldiers, the imperial soldiers of Japan, and then she was disfigured from abuse, and has a visual reminder of what she had to survive, and the fact that she lost her sister and survived without her, and then has to come to terms with that in the society now. And it also features a former imperial gardener who is essentially in hiding and on this arc of redemption for what he and his people have done to others, and what he feels he's responsible for. So it has so much depth and tragedy and beauty and horror and forgiveness and redemption and just a lot that you can sink your teeth into. But it's also a story that I don't ever hear anyone talking about, and it's a time in history, a place in history that I don't also hear discussed a lot. So I would want to make sure that that does not stay that way. So anyway, for my 100th video, I just wanted to discuss a couple of those. Gives me an option to kind of recommend them, discuss them, but also start a discussion and a debate on what we view as important and how we can keep this community that place for sharing and for appreciation of art and all things important, and to keep it alive, keep literature and art alive, and bring it forward. Our videos are here for the future to read or to watch, so they know what to read. And so by commenting, you will be able to give them a list of things that they know that they'll need to read. And if you are a content creator, please feel free to do your own response video and make your own kind of discussion. Or if if you disagree or agree with anything that I have said, please also talk about that. I'm just hoping for community effort, a discussion, and I guess this is just a thank you video for being here and for taking a chance on me and for building something with me. So I hope this is a moment that we can keep building on that. So thank you and have a great day.